Yo, what's up? It's SNT and you're watching The Bike Show, the weekly series where we check out some of your amazing bike builds. This series was formerly known as reacting to your bikes, but I've now changed the concept so it's easier for me to post these videos every single week and also easier for me to show off the best builds that you guys have submitted to the email address that's down in the description. So if you want your bike featured, all the information is down there or maybe on the screen right now. But now sit back, relax and enjoy the show, and at the end let me know in the comment section down below which bike was your favorite. But now starting off with the first bike. The first bike of the day comes from Cedric and it's his 2019 Derbi Senda DRD 50cc moped. It started out as a completely stock bike, but then he got some black plastics, a graphics kit and some tuning parts including the Voca rookie exhaust, which already looks a lot better, but it's not done yet. After a couple months he even ended up getting a black number plate, a light bar and some red LED light strips over the engine and in the wheelhouse, which looks so badass. It took the bike from like a 7, like it looks cool but nothing crazy, and it gave it a personality, and it took it to like a 9.5 in my opinion. But it really gave it a lot of character, and I love this bike. It looks so badass and it's just so cool. It kept consistent with the black color scheme, like black and red. It has that like white to give some accent, and it's just, I just love this bike. It looks so badass. It's super aggressive, it has character, which is probably the reason I like this bike so much. I'm usually not a fan of this graphics kit, but on this bike it just fits so well, and it just kept consistent with the color scheme, which makes a huge difference when it comes to making a bike look good. So overall, an amazing job, and this is what we call job well done. Thank you so much for the submission, and thanks for being on the show. Moving on, we have Jack with his 80cc Rieju MRT, and believe it or not, this is not a supermoto build. It's the first time on this series pretty much we don't have a supermoto. It started out as a completely stock moped, and then it turned it into this enduro bike and wheelie machine. The engine is built with, but not limited to, the Barikit BRK 80cc Racing Blue Zaphir cylinder, the Voca Cross 1890 exhaust, MVT Digital Direct Inner-rotor Ignition, a 24mm carburetor, racing clutch and 1162 gearing. So with this 80cc setup and that gearing, he does about 100 km an hour and with amazing acceleration, which I mean, I would definitely enjoy a setup like this. Of all the setups we've seen on the channel so far, I think this is one of my favorites because it's super low gearing, but it's still, with the dirt bike wheels and stuff, it still does about 100 km an hour. And it's also cool to see that you actually ride enduro with this bike instead of just having it as a dirt bike and then riding on the street. It's cool to see that you're using it for the purpose that it is. He also has some styling parts including the Kawasaki number plate, KTM EXE front fender, stage 6 fat bar, CNC clutch and brake levers, Metzler 6-days grips, green details like spoke skins, fuel lines, etc. And it also has a graphic kit from Hyana.it. The only thing I would recommend for this build is to get some matching details on the front fender and number plate, because they kind of like stick out. You have this amazing graphics kit on the entire bike and everywhere is just details and stuff, but then on the number plate and front fender you're still missing some details. It kind of sticks out. This was a long time ago you submitted this bike, so I'm sure you have fixed it, but if you haven't and you're watching this video, I would definitely recommend you getting some details on the front fender and number plate as well to make it fit the bike a little bit better. But that's the only thing I had to say about this bike. Jack, amazing build, really cool to see an enduro bike on the show, and thank you so much for your submission. Next up we have a 7cc CH Racing, and this is one of those rare cases where the bike actually looked pretty cool before he started doing the rebuild, but he still managed to pull off a pretty cool transformation of this bike and made it look even cooler than it already was. He also has a pretty nice setup on this bike, which includes the 70cc Airsal racing cylinder with a modified exhaust port, 21mm carburetor, V-force free reed valve with a 5mm spacer, Voca Cross rookie 5070 exhaust with a FMF Shorty Muffler, and the engine cases are modified. So you built it up to give it some power, and you've also got the FMF Shorty Muffler, which I really like. It makes it look like a real bike. You know what I mean, like a moped is a real bike, but it makes it look like a real 125 with the FMF Shorty Muffler. It looks really badass in my opinion, and overall an amazing bike. The only thing I would like to see on this bike is maybe a graphics kit to go well with this bike. I think that would be really cool if you got like a black and yellow graphics kit. But other than that, an amazing build. Thanks for your submission. Now moving on, we have a Derbi DRD. It started out as like a generic tune, the Derbi DRD, but then they did a full rebuild and made it look amazing. The plastics and forks are painted with core paint, and then the rims, crankcases, rear shock spring, the frame, oil pump, water pump, and the swing arm is painted with powder coat. In my opinion, a lot of bikes would look better with a graphics kit, but this bike with that gloss black finish on the plastics and that purple frame, this bike looks amazing as it is, and I don't have anything to say about this bike. It's a really beautiful bike, and they also have quite a powerful engine setup, including a ported 50cc aluminium cylinder, Tecnigas e-box exhaust, 18mm carburetor, Malossi reed valve, ported intake manifold, and a most 5-disc clutch. So overall, an amazing build. I love the attention to detail, and the purple and black color scheme looks amazing. So I just want to say thank you so much for your submission, and hopefully you enjoy the bike for as long as you keep it. Last but not least, we have a 2013 Yamaha DT 50. He bought it from a farmer and it was in really bad condition, so he had to rebuild the entire bike from the ground up and repaint everything on the bike. I wish we had some before pictures, but sadly we don't. But we do have a lot of high quality pictures from the rebuild, so I'm still gonna feature the bike on the channel. But remember that when you're submitting bike pictures to the channel, include before pictures, and high quality pictures are definitely prioritized. So make sure you get some good pictures and some before pictures. But the before picture doesn't have to be high quality, just that the after pictures are high quality, if you know what I mean. He went for a black and blue color scheme, which he kept consistent throughout the entire build, which I really appreciate. And then he got a nice graphics kit on top of that to make it look even better. He also tuned the engine quite a bit with a 70cc cylinder, 17.5mm carburetor, and a Tecnigas Inox exhaust. Super clean build, and I really like when people use the V-face headlight like he done in this build, because it just feels like that headlight is made for the Yamaha DT50s, because it just looks so amazing on these bikes. So that's a little tip for you guys. If you're building a DT50 and you want to have a street legal headlight, the V-face headlight is definitely a good option. That was the 5 amazing bikes from this week's bike show. Let me know in the comment section down below which bike was your favorite. And if you haven't already, I would highly appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. Our goal is to hit 100,000 subscribers before the end of the year, which I know is ambitious, but it would be really cool if we did that. So if you haven't already, join the squad. But as always, until next time, remember, stay awesome, be positive. It's been your boy SNT, and I'll see you in the next one.